We start with the bad news. As previously reported, Aston Martin's glorious-sounding naturally aspirated V12 engine won't be making the transition to the new DB11. The engine that has powered all of the company's larger products since 2003, and was essentially two Ford Duratec V-6s joined at the crank, is soon to be retired, and we will not hear its heavenly wail again. Black armbands will be issued. Let's cheer ourselves up by skipping straight to the better news, namely that the DB11 has resisted the trend of reduced cylinder count and is keeping a V12, in this case a new twin turbocharged unit that Aston has developed itself. We'll have to wait until the replacement for the smaller Vantage to meet the first AMG-powered Aston. The new 5.2-liter V12 shares 4 centers with the old 5.9-liter engine and will be built at Aston's engine plant in Cologne, but everything else about it is claimed to be new. We suspect that the engine's 600 horsepower, 60 more than the DB9 GT, will help most potential buyers move on quickly from the pain of losing the old naturally aspirated engine. It also produces 516 lb-ft of torque, available from 1,500 rpm to 5,000 rpm. By contrast, the DB9's max of 457 lb-ft arrived at a lofty 5,500 rpm. Aston's engineering boss Ian Menards assures us that the DB11's engine has been developed to deliver lag-free response with one turbocharger and intercooler per bank. This facilitates cylinder deactivation, with the engine shutting down a whole bank under gentle use to become a 2.6-liter inline-six. It then will periodically switch between banks to keep the catalysts hot and even out engine wear. The transmission is the same 8-speed ZF automatic as fitted to the Vanquish, but with power sent to the rear wheels through a torque vectoring differential. Turbos notwithstanding, the DB11 is otherwise reassuringly predictable. Aston is keen to emphasize how different it is from the aged DB9, and in fact it uses a new aluminum architecture that will underpin all the brand's future models. But it's fair to say it sticks to the Aston GT recipe as closely and attentively as a novice chef. The structure is still formed from bonded aluminum, the body panels are also aluminum, and the design pays reverence to its handsome forebears without ever becoming obsequious. The most obvious visual difference is the roof straight that runs from the base of the A-pillar, above the glass, and to the base of the C-pillar, and which is available in aluminum, black, or body color. Dimensions are very similar to the DB9. The DB11 is 1.2 inches longer, 2.7 inches wider, 0.3 inch higher, and sits on a wheelbase 2.5 inches longer. Weight is nearly identical, the factory dry weight figure of 3,902 pounds being just 33 pounds lower, but Aston says that the new engine is considerably heavier and therefore the body shell's mass reduction is partially disguised. The DB11 is far better packaged than its predecessor, though, with more interior space and almost usable rear seats instead of what was, in the DB9, little more than luggage space with seat belts. Beneath the surface there is more innovation. The DB11 gets a new multi-link rear suspension and electrically assisted power steering, a first for Aston, as well as a clever new aerodynamics system. It directs air around the car without the need for any ostentatious wings or vast diffusers. The key element is what the company calls the aeroblade, which uses ducting to take airflow from the base of the C-pillar to the trailing edge of the trunk, where it is directed upward at 90 degrees. Apparently delivering most of the benefits of a wing without needing to muss up those beautiful lines. It works at speeds of up to about 90 miles per hour, above which a small spoiler rises to assist it. The most noticeable changes are those that have been wrought in the cabin, with the arrival of Daimler's electronic architecture, the other part of the two companies' collaboration. This isn't particularly well disguised, with a rotary controller and touch-sensitive panel identical to the one found in Merc's. The DB11 also has a single control stalk for both its wipers and turn signals, taken straight from the Benz parts bin. The cabin is immaculately finished and benefits from TFT instruments and an 8.0-inch display screen in the center of the dashboard. Options include a powered armrest, automatic parking, and a 1000-watt Bang & Olufsen audio system, although the DB11 doesn't get many of the Mercedes active safety systems that we were expecting to appear, as the car is not fitted with long-range radar sensors. The lack of adaptive cruise seems particularly odd in a modern car that's been designed around a Grand Touring brief. The DB11 will be priced at $214,820 in the US, with first deliveries starting in the fourth quarter. It's easy to characterize as hyperbole Aston's insistence that the DB11 is the most important launch in its 103-year history, but it does reflect the truth that this is the model that will demonstrate whether, after years of stagnant sales, the company does have a viable future. For that, we wish it well.